Hello, fiends, friends, and familiars. This is Matt Orozco here from Macabre Daily, and I'm excited today because I'm joined by the filmmakers behind the upcoming film Reflection in a Dead Diamond. We have Cattet and Bruno Forzani. Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thank
Hey,
you and
thank
hello
you.
to everybody.
Hello.
They're saying hello back virtually, and I'm sure they have as many questions as I do. And I know we only have a little bit of time, so I'm going to dive right in. But the first one is, I had an absolute blast watching the film. Visually, it's like cinema for your eyeball. Like it's just cinema for your eyes in the best possible way. I don't know how to say it. It's almost like like your eyes are taking a dip in cool waters. It's just so much fun. And before I get into the visuals of the film, I'm just curious to know, how did you both come around to the idea for it in the first place? It's such a strange mix of genres, Eurospy, Giallo. So, what was the original kind of or genesis of the idea?
Mhm.
But we wanted to do a kind of mix between James Bond, Eurospy, and Death in Venice. Death in Venice, it's from Visconti, and it's a composer who remind his past, and we wanted to do a bit the same thing, but in a action way. And that was the starting point. And we wanted to give a blast to the audience. So we were very happy that you had it. And I think that blast can be lived in a first view at in a theatrical experience because we have done it really for the cinema, for the theaters, and
For the big screen,
big
the big
screen.
sound.
Yeah, and to have a kind of physical experience like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And we have written the script a bit like Satoshi Kon did for Perfect Blue on or Millennium Actress. And so it's movies that are supposed to be seen several times. And we have written it with several layers so that you can visit the movie several times. And so when it will be on streaming, you can watch it again and find some keys because it's like a game with the audience.
It's funny you mentioned that because I felt like the first viewing wasn't going to be enough. There's so much to take in, even just from a reference standpoint of the visual and kind of genre references you're making. There's so much to, I think, get lost in that. I think as a film fan, that's what's so exciting about it. So I'm happy to hear that that was an intentional choice. Um, and I also know you've worked with your longtime director of photography and cinematographer, Manuel de Cos, for this. What kind of work did you do with them to determine the visual language of the film? Because this is such a unique looking film, the way in which you superimpose images into other ones, and it also feels very like it's to use a better term, old school film tactics, right? It's not, it's all in camera versus kind of outside in post. So, how did you establish that kind of visual language with Manuel?
In fact, we think about this during the writing because as we want to make a movie with a really sensorial, really intuitive for the audience. So we have to think about everything before because the light, the props, the sets, the costumes, everything must have a meaning and must tell something on the character or on the story. So everything is prepared, even the editing. We think about everything, and then we talk with the DOP and with the set designer, and they work together to find the good props, the good place to have to have the good light and to be on and to suivre nos intentions.
To follow our intention, our will. And in fact, we try to tell the story through all the cinematographic tools, but not through dialogues.
Yeah.
Voilà.
Right. No, it's so much of it is feel like it is using film language to tell the story as opposed to relying on people's interactions. And even just the location, the Côte d'Azur, like the hotel you found, it's beautiful. It feels so much like this kind of escape. And you also brought in Fabio Testi, which I was so surprised to see because he's in one of my favorite Eurocrime films, which is Contraband. And
Yeah.
I know he stills working, but how did that conversation start with getting him involved? And did you always have him in mind for that role?
Yeah, in fact, he inspired us for the script.
Yeah,
So we
exactly.
really needed him.
Yeah, we have written the script for him,
Yeah.
and so we went to his house one day in Italy, and it was amazing because, like you, we love all the Euro-Italian films,
Right.
the Euro crime and the Italian westerns. And we were just in front of him, and we have seen his eyes in close-up so many times, and we were watching to his face like that. It was amazing. And yeah, and in fact, we have rediscovered him in 2011 in Monty Hellman's last movie, Road to Nowhere. And it was a long time that we haven't seen him on screen. And when we have seen this movie, we have watched this movie, he reminded us on old Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And it's him who inspired us, this spy character.
I mean, he fits so well. And you mentioned kind of when you met him, you saw his eyes. The eyes are such an important part of this film. Even, Sir Petik's, the way that their eyes are framed in the mask. And so it's important you have those kind of really great, literal visual eyes to be able to use in the frame. And his are quite good with his cold, steely blues. Now, you both have kind of made a name for yourselves in being somewhat of genre deconstructors. You've taken the Western, you've taken horror, and you've kind of broken it down into different pieces now with this Euro crime, Euro spy films. Are there other genres that you think you'd like to explore, or have you kind of tapped out the ones that you're most interested in?
I want to do a peplum.
Yeah, it's a sword and sandal, yeah. And the next we are going to do, I don't know if it's a genre, but it's a anime, like a Japan anime.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can say it's a genre, but
Yeah,
it's a kind of movie that we love. And,
it's another challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a genre. You mentioned Satoshi Kon as one of the kind of, narrative inspirations, and Perfect Blue is, I don't think many film fans would look at that as just an anime film. It's really a film that is delivered through animation, but it's very much more like a strong narrative and grounded film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Millennium Actress, for me, it was like a revolution in storytelling. But as it's an animation movie, it didn't have the place he deserved. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. Animated films don't always get as much of a fair shake. Same with short films, which I know you all did one earlier this year, the Strange Portrait of the Lady in Yellow. Did that have any influence on this, or were these kind of two separate tracks that you were running on?
The animation or
No, no, like did the short you did, the Strange Portrait, inform anything that you did with Reflection in a Dead Diamond, or are they just two separate ideas?
there are no, there are some mirrors, there are some reflection, but
Yeah.
but after it was something different. It was about Giallo.
Yeah.
And as we made all our first shorts with slides, with it was like photographies. This time it was one of the first time that we used live action, live action sequence, and it was a plan séquent, one shot,
Just one shot.
But it was like a frame, live action frame.
Well, I haven't seen the short, but it looks really fascinating. So I'm hoping I can seek it out somewhere. And my last question for you both is just around the if you were to be giving your, say, favorite Euro spy films that you think people should see, or your essential Euro spy films, what are 2 to 3 films you think everyone needs to see to understand the Euro spy genre better?
Yeah. Operation Kid Brother. It's from Alberto De Martino, and it's with the brother of Sean Connery, Neil Connery. And for us, it's one of the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And there is another one who is a Japanese spy. Called in English.
Black
Tie
Killers. Black Tie Killers. Yes, it's that.
It's very very great with a beautiful mise en scène.
Yeah, editing, full of ideas.
Yeah.
Wow, so I've got 2 to add to my list. That's Operation Kid Brother and Black Tie Killers. Well, I want to thank you both so much for the time today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And I want to remind everyone watching this that you can catch Reflections in a Dead Diamond on Shudder on December 5th. And as the filmmakers have said, watch it more than once. There's so much to take in, there's so much to enjoy. And it's such a love letter to a very specific time and kinds of films. So cannot wait to see the next film you all put together. And congratulations on this one.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Matt. Bye.
It's a
Bye.
pleasure. Bye bye. Thank you, Sarah.